Good morning, everybody. Hey, man, we've been on some winning days, guys. I can't really complain. Sure, a lot of these days have been like, we go 4-3 on the picks, 5-4, things like that. But they're still winning days. They're not total smash spots. I'm not gonna sit here and lie, but they're winning days. They are winning days, and it's been like that most of last week. I really don't mind if we do that again. Obviously, we always prefer those 5-0 days, but if we get some winning days, even though they're maybe winning by 1 or 2 games, we'll be all right. We're still cashing out. But let's get into today's card. It is a small card. Hey, it might be a smash spot today. Come on, let's try and get that 5-0 sweep. So, first game up, we got the Boston Bruins heading over to New York. Well, the Boston Bruins have been kind of on a heater. Honestly, they've been kind of on a heater. They haven't played that great on the road lately, but they've been having a lot of home games. So they are coming off of a little bit of a homestand. Meanwhile, the Rangers have just dropped 3. All 3 of those were on the road. But if I'm being honest, I never really see the Rangers play that great anywhere. At least this season. Obviously, last season they were much better. This season, I see them lose a lot of games, man. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been on them a little bit. I was on them last game because I thought, hey, not every California team is going to beat this New York team. And, I ended up getting burned. They managed to lose to the Sharks. Pretty much lost their whole California road trip. So, at least these guys are back home. I think that makes a difference. Again, this is kind of like trying to catch a falling knife. With the Bruins on a heater, most of the value on them is gone. They were pretty much underdogs that whole homestand, and we managed to even catch it. I think we were on the Boston Bruins twice, if I'm not mistaken. I know we were on there for one game for sure, but I want to say we were on it a second time. I just don't remember which game, but you guys know what I'm talking about, especially because I know we had the Bruins at a plus money price at home, and I know we cashed on that one. So I do remember it is recent memory of Boston winning at home. But now that they go on the road and they're a favorite, that value is, starting to diminish because they are winning. I think we live with the Rangers. I'm gonna try and catch a small falling knife at this point. It's a small falling knife at this point, so I'm gonna try and catch that with the Rangers against the Bruins, especially with the Rangers coming back home. Not much confidence, but I do feel like it's the right play. So I'll take the Rangers in this first matchup. So here's 2 teams we have been on recently. We've been recently on both the Blue Jackets and the Kings. We've been getting some really good wins with the Blue Jackets, especially at home. We were getting a lot of short favorite, almost plus money prices, but it was where the Blue Jackets were either just a slight favorite. Now they're not exactly a heavy favorite here. They're still kind of, I would say just a little bit more than what I like to pay for a slight favorite like this. Because the Kings, I think they're still a competitive team. If you compare the Blue Jackets, they're chasing a lot of teams on trying to get that last playoff spot. So, I mean, that's telling me a lot about the Blue Jackets, how they're winning. They are winning a lot recently. I want to say that's why they're the favorite. That's most likely why, because they are on a little bit of a heater, kind of like the Bruins that we just talked about. But the Kings have been good on the road pretty much the whole season. So I'm getting a better price with a team that at least I think is better and is more competitive, especially on the road. I think I'm going to have to hop off the Blue Jackets train for a little bit, but I have been on the Blue Jackets the last 3 games. If you guys want to go ahead, take a look at the videos. I think I'm going to hop off the Blue Jackets train, and I think I'm going to take the Kings for plus 102. Even if Kemper doesn't get the start, I'm okay with Forsberg in the goalkeeping. So that's not too much of a worry for me. They are a little bit inconsistent right now, both offensively and defensive on the Kings side. So there are some things to worry about, but I still think they get the win. I still think they're the better team. Especially, I just like how they played more on the road. The Blue Jackets have been good at home in their own right. So just keep that in mind, guys. Take your shot. This is pretty damn near a coin flip game. So, and sometimes in a coin flip game, you can just take the plus money if you see it, unless you really, really like, again, the favored team. because there's been times where games have been close and I do pick the favorite team. But just, again, try to find a way to get to what you like, guys. So this game is perfect for me to explain something. It's already been a couple of times this season, guys, and we were on it kind of with the Capitals the other day when the Capitals played the Oilers. The Oilers were like minus 165, 75, 80, something around there. In that range, they were a heavy favorite. And the plus 1.5 for the opposite team, which was the Capitals, they had the plus 1.5 at around minus 165, minus 170. I hate to say it, like I had a gut feeling, but I kind of just calculated in my head how that works, but it's more of a gut feeling. I'm not going to lie to you guys that I was, I thought to myself, I think the Capitals are going to keep it close, and I think it was going to be within 1-goal range. And I kind of have that same feeling here again, to be honest. But the Lightning, I think, are just way better than the Oilers, especially right now. So the play is Tampa Bay minus 1.5. At least that's what I think it should be. But just recently against the Ducks, I believe. Was it the Ducks? Okay. So this game is, I can kind of show you guys my thinking process again, like we did we had the Capitals plus 1.5, and it was at minus 165, minus 170 against an Oilers who were favored at minus 175, 180, something around that line. So usually when we got something like that, I usually tend to think that they end up being one goal games on one side or the other. Just like, again, when we had the Capitals, it was plus 1.5, minus 160, minus 170. I know that's kind of boring. It's not exciting. It's not some crazy profit. But it was the right side to be on, and that game ended up going to overtime. And, you didn't even have to watch the overtime anymore. You already cashed in your plus 1.5. But the Tampa Bay Lightning have also been good. I think they're also they've been winning games. They win games by puck lines often. And just the last game they had against the Blue Jackets was an ugly game. But we were on the Blue Jackets on that one. So, we were happy about it. But at least for this game, it makes it a little harder to handicap. Utah have been on a heater, though. So that's also why, I think these prices are the way they are. Tampa Bay, again, they lost to the Jackets 8-5. It was a pretty ugly game. That pretty much is what brought this price down, because I'm pretty sure before that game, it was probably going to open up maybe at minus 180, 190. And since the Utah Mammoth have been on a heater, got off a homestand, got a win on the road in Nashville, I think they can at least keep it close. But overall, this is not a game I really want to bet, guys. I wanted to break it down more so for you guys. At least for me, if I had to actually, if I actually bet it, I would either go Utah money line, or I would just count on Lightning to bounce back big. So, and honestly, I lean more towards Tampa Bay minus 1.5. So, as if I had to make an official pick here, I think I'll go with the Tampa Bay minus 1.5. But there's also just more factors supporting that this game could be a 1-goal game. So, but both sides, either one is a good pick, guys. Either one is a good pick. For me personally, I'd bet on Lightning to make a bounce back big. But I think logically the plus 1.5 and the minus 170 would be better, even though it's not exciting. Sorry for that answer, guys, but I don't like this game. I'm not gonna bet it. I just wanted to give you guys some thoughts. Last game of the night, we got the Anaheim Ducks. Now heading over to Edmonton. They've been doing pretty good on this little Canada road trip, the Ducks. So the way I would play this, guys, all the values on the Ducks, but they are playing back-to-back with travel. Keep that in mind. I could see why Edmonton is a heavy favorite, and even you're even getting not that great a price with the puck line. So I do think Edmonton wins this, but I would play it just straight up money line. Edmonton, they recently we cashed in with the Capitals plus 1.5 against the Oilers. Now that the Oilers have a win, I just would not be surprised to see them win by the puck line. So again, the way I would just take a value shot with the Ducks simply because it's not worth it to take Edmonton, especially at this big money line price. They're going against an Anaheim team that has momentum right now. Should be a tough game for Edmonton, but I'm not exactly sure. They have moments where they really just crap the bed, and the Ducks is the only way I could look at it just from a value perspective. But I do think Edmonton wins this, so I kind of see if I can. Hopefully, the Ducks can keep it close. As for the video, Ducks plus 1.5. Hey, if the Ducks are winning, they're winning, regardless if they are my team, guys. But yeah, I would say the Ducks plus 1.5 and Edmonton wins by 1 goal. That's how I see this game going. But if I've also seen how the Oilers have played after they go on some losing, they win just barely, and then they're probably going to win this game, and then their next 2-3 games are going to be just total blowouts and win in favor for Edmonton. So I don't want to be on Edmonton yet, not until I can get a good price with the puck line. And here I'm not. So I'll take the Ducks plus 1.5 at minus 112.